Good morning, everybody. Happy Friday. It's our Amazon Q&A time.
Yay, it's Friday. I am ready for Friday. How are you doing this Friday, Miss Tina?
I'm good. Hopefully, we won't have too many family interruptions um, this week. We've had just some family issues going on, and our relative, we're going to get her on an airplane tonight to get back home. So hopefully, she can get some treatment that is much needed.
That will be good. Give me just 1 second here to get everything rolling.
And for those of you that are joining in, I see that you're joining in, and good morning to you. I hope you guys are not as hot as I am out here in the desert. It's been well over 100 degrees every day and so incredibly hot.
Yes, I do not miss that. I don't know how to get that off. Sometimes I'm trying to work the buttons. What are we here? We are 60 and cloudy right now. It is a beautiful morning. I am
Dare
loving the
you talk
coolness.
to me like that?
You should come visit when you're sick of the heat.
Uh,
It's gorgeous up here. The summers are absolutely divine. But today we've got Q&A, and we've got several questions, things going on. I see you in there, Miley. Happy Friday to you as well. So I've got that up. But we wanted to start with 2 questions from the Facebook group, right?
yes, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we have one user. We'll get this one out of the way, that is going to be coming to ASD, and she really wants to know what to do to prepare to come, what to bring, what have you. And really, we could spend a whole hour talking about that. So I've considered us just doing an ASD show. But honestly, a quick summarizing of that would be to choose a hotel that is going to be in walking distance if you're not planning on doing Vegas stuff as well. Um, because you can easily then take an Uber to the strip. And I always forget the name of that hotel right next door, the one where we meet
Western.
people for drinks,
Western.
Westgate. So Westgate is the easiest place
Westgate.
to stay if you're going to go to the ASD trade show, because you can walk right to the ASD. So easy, so easy. And bring a
Is it
bag
the
with
Westgate
wheels.
or the Westin?
I think it's Westgate.
Oh, crud.
Don't
Okay, go
confuse
ahead.
me now. I'm pretty sure it's the Westgate.
Called it the Westin the other day. So now
And
I'm
bring a bag, a rolling bag, be it whether it's a briefcase bag, whatever kind of little pulley bag you want to bring, because you will be gathering a lot of catalogs and they get very heavy. While there are free bags that they hand out at the show that go over your shoulder, you don't want to throw your back out lugging around those bags. So bring a rolly cart. And the nice thing is, if you're staying right next door, you can take periodical breaks to go unload your crap. um, and it's safe to stay in the hotel. So for those that are either traveling with somebody else or even alone, there's lots of crowds of people. When you're at the Westgate, it's a quick walk over. So I feel, if I was a female traveling alone, I would feel safe. And I know sometimes husband and wives come together. You might want to separate. Um, Definitely bring business cards, bring a pen, bring a pad of paper. Every single booth you go to, they're going to want to ask you for your business card. Um,
And you don't
you
have to go out and print this. Just gonna jump in real quick. I mean, you can. It's cheaper to get like a bunch at Vistaprint for real. But if you just print out your contact information and cut that up, like if you're totally on a budget, do that because
mhm,
they really just want your name and email and
they
phone
do.
number.
Yeah, sometimes I've forgotten business cards and they're like, "Oh, here, just write it on this." So yeah,
Mhm.
they're not looking for you to be like some super duper professional seller with a fancy card and an LLC. I swear they don't care. I used to be so intimidated by that when I first went to the shows, like they're going to know I'm new and I'm not going to know how to talk right, and I don't even have an LLC yet. What am I going to say? They're not going to want to talk to me. They do. They want to talk to you. They want your money. They want to sell you stuff. So, um, some people overcomplicate it and tell you how you have to have a fancy paid for business email and all these things, and you don't.
No.
Um, so just come. But do try to bring business cards with an email address and phone number, any contact information you want them to have. So if you don't want it to be your main business email, make a card with like your spam email account on it, because some of these vendors you maybe really don't want to deal with, but now you feel obligated to give them your email and card. So that's another tip. But it's going to be here in Vegas in the summer, so don't pack long sleeves. I mean, don't pack pants, and it's hot, you guys. It's over 100 degrees, and it still will be in August. It is so hot. So be prepared and wear comfortable shoes.
Yeah, shoes are a must. And the only other thing that I would add to that is I don't particularly care for the convention food and drinks. So I have my rolly bag, and I throw in a several waters, string cheese, snacks, a sandwich. And if you are staying at one of the hotels down there, you can easily pop into a convenience store, get some chips, get some things, whatever you want to eat, and then throw that into your bag, because you will pay 3 times the price for whatever it is. If you think
it's like
a
buying
dollar,
Disneyland priced food, and it's yeah. So
and it's
I
garbage.
think behind the Westgate is a Walgreens or something to that effect. And I mean, you can ask there at the hotel. The people who work there are going to point you in the right direction, where you can just go to a Walgreens and grab just snacks to keep in your room. So that's a quick answer, but the most important details as far as if you're going to come to ASD for your first time.
Same with if you are staying at the hotels, you can pick up little bottles of wine or alcohol as well if you don't want to pay $8 for a beer, which I'm like, I'm fine with that once in a while. But if you're going to have 3 beers and then you got tip and charge, you got $30 for your drinks, and then you probably have $50 for your meal. I mean, it can rack up. And I'm the type that likes to sit in bed at the end of the day and have a glass of wine and watch the TV there, and not go out to go get said beverage. I want to be in my pajamas.
You can always have Uber Eats brought to the hotel, and
that's true.
If you have an Uber Eats account or Grubhub, the city offers that, and the drivers will go to the hotels.
Good morning, Bertie. Good morning, Mariana. I believe you have Mariana. Is it Mariana? Yes. Or am I saying it right?
Okay. I have her set up for Tuesday next week at 8:00 in the morning West Coast time to go over how to use tactical arbitrage, or how she uses it to find items, for those that have already got tactical arbitrage and are struggling knowing how to use it, or maybe you've considered getting tactical arbitrage, and at least seeing her live example will let you know if maybe it's something that is for you.
That's exactly what I want. So that's what I'm going to be paying attention to, because I don't know if I want to incorporate that into my business or not. I've seen it floated out there, and there's a lot of wrong ways to use it. So I'm super excited about
I think Marina, I think she could chime in, but I think it is $100 a month for tactical arbitrage.
Yeah. The second question we had on there was on IP complaints, right?
IP complaints are being handed out like candy. And a lot of people have asked about IP complaints that they're getting in our group. And I've seen people talking about all these IP complaints in other groups. IP complaints are nothing new. We know this. I used to get one maybe every couple of years, maybe one a year, but now it's a regular occurrence for these different IP complaints, or counterfeit without a test buy. It seems like these two items are really popping up a lot in Facebook groups. And what do I do about it? Do I have to fight it? Am I going to get my Amazon account shut down?
Yeah, I wanted to share. There are several links that you could go and look at. But if you just type in Amazon FBA brands to stay away from, you will get several sites that are like this, and they will have all sorts of things. And then they have kind of how risky is it? So somebody was asking about Australian Gold suntan lotion. And
Yes.
they were like, is there any risk? It's not coming up on IP alerts. And if you look here, there is some risk. And I have heard it every once in a while. So this is a really good kind of guide if you are thinking about getting a new brand or, incorporating a new brand into your thing. Maybe you come across Baby Bullet and you're like, oh, maybe I should get these baby bullets on clearance. You come look here and it's legal action or policy warning. So, Baby Bullet, legal action, big avoid. So you'll know not to. I know not everybody runs an IP extension, and mine ran out. I guess I paid for a year and it's no longer available. I took it off the links below, but I'm kind of debating even getting the IP extension or not, because I mean, it's just really easy. I've been selling kind of the same brands over and over and over. And if I want to get a new one, I just kind of look here and check it out, do my own
And
research.
it can be frustrating. I went sourcing with my girlfriend here in town day before yesterday, and she's someone who has done Amazon off and on, and so she's trying to get back into Amazon for some extra money, and she's getting very frustrated with IP complaints, and so she uh, is not as involved in Amazon as I have been, or say you have been, and so she would be, even though she's done Amazon a long time, she's not done it as a full-time job. And so she
Mhm.
gets very frustrated. She's like, why? She's like, yeah, almost yelling at me, because she's so frustrated. She's like, why do I get brand approval? She's like, it says restricted brand. I hit, to request approval. I get approved. I send it in, and then I get an IP complaint. Why do they allow me to, be approved then? And the thing is I felt like her before, and I know so many people out there do feel that way. Like, well, why did you approve me then if I can't sell it? And
Exactly.
and get very frustrated that now I'm being slapped with an IP complaint. And just because Amazon auto approves us for something doesn't mean that a brand isn't going to possibly, come after us for, you know, their brand, especially if a lot of brands are now not wanting third party sellers selling their items, especially brands that either have high counterfeit complaints, or think of like a beauty product that could possibly also be bootlegged, or hair salons are getting upset that, look, we can't sell your product in our salon because everyone's buying it on Amazon. And so they're trying to make the mom and pop type businesses happy. There's just so many reasons why brands are now wanting to be the seller of their brand on Amazon.
For
And
sure.
just because we're approved doesn't mean that we might, get hit with an IP complaint. But does that mean that you're going to lose your Amazon selling account because you got an IP
Not usually.
complaint?
Not usually. You
And
get
so,
enough of them,
Lucy,
it will.
what do you do when you get an IP complaint normally?
So, Facebook user says, was Crayola on the page? Yes, and Crayola was on here, and it was on here twice. One said some risk, and one said some restrictions. So when you see that and you see that it's some risk, your to do after that is to go and type into Google, type in Crayola, Amazon IP complaint, see what pops up, see how many times it's been posted on the forums. I highly encourage you to go join a couple of Facebook groups that have a lot of members, and you can go search that Facebook group, search for the word Crayola. And I bet you there's 6 posts on does Crayola give IP complaints, and then there's 50 answers on each post. So you don't need to repost your question necessarily. You can just find out how big of a risk is it and what's going on, and adjust that risk to yourself. For me, if I'm at Walmart and I see a Crayola product that is amazing, it's got great rank, it's got great ROI, all that good stuff, and there's only 3 on the shelf and it's some risk, I'm going for it. I'm going to sell those 3, be in, be out in 2 seconds. Am I going to create a long-term replen with that item and buy 600? No, not really. I'm not going to buy and go in that deep on something that has a bit of risk to it without making sure that I have it with the proper invoices and all of that good stuff. So, you know, weigh your own risk with what is sitting in front of you and see if it's worth it to you. If I'm looking at $20 profit and I can sell out within a day, yeah, I'll probably risk it. If I'm looking at $2 profit and I may not sell out for 3 weeks, it might be a little bit more risky.
I've had experience with Crayola. I have sold Crayola where the listing was already on there, and it was profitable, and I had no issues. I also bought my Crayola from an authorized distributor. I did have an issue with Crayola with a suspected IP complaint on a bundle that I created because I added Crayola to the bundle. So the issue was not that I had Crayola crayons in my bundle. The issue was that I used the trademark term Crayola in the title of my listing and in my bullet points.
Hmm.
How I fought that and how I won is I updated my title and my bullet points to just use the word crayons. And
Hmm.
so I still had Crayola crayons in my bundle and in my listing and in my image, but I removed the word Crayola. I updated that in my account. In a case I opened with Amazon, I let them know I have now corrected the listing to remove the trademark term Crayola. Could they please check the back end of my listing, update that listing, and make it active again? And that's what they did. And they removed that IP complaint from my account. A lot of times, the reason why you make it an IP complaint is for something like that. A brand does not want you using their trademark name in your listing, even if it is their brand, especially if you're not authorized to make a listing for that brand. This can happen. Other times, I have gotten an IP complaint where you've possibly jumped on a listing that now that brand is coming after everybody. So sometimes it's not a matter of updating the infringing name in the listing, they're just coming after everybody. In this case, if there's an email where you can contact the company in your IP complaint, it will tell you, address your questions to an email address in the listing or in the complaint. I email them. I tell them, I am a small business owner. I sell on Amazon. I had no intention of violating your brand. It's my apologies. Your listing was on Amazon. It was a simple mistake. Amazon did not restrict me from selling on this listing. Um, I would like to talk to you at your earliest convenience because this affects my selling privileges on Amazon. I, strive to keep my account in good standing. I do not intend to sell your item anymore. And I have already closed down that listing. And I try to work with them to remove their claim off of my account. That works 99% of the time. Most of the companies that are coming after you really don't want to hurt your business. They don't want to shut you down per se. They just want to get people off the listings. And a lot of times they really don't know how to do that other than the way that they are doing it. And they usually will gladly take that off. They just usually need that complaint ID and your seller store in order to do so.
Yep. 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 So we got another question really quick about ASD on how to approach vendors. And I would like to just say approach vendors with honesty. I have had some vendors tell me that Amazon sellers try to be sneaky and, try to be sneaky about what they're trying to do. And they don't like that. And most of them are used to having people sell on Amazon. They're used to that. So it's not a secret. It's approach with honesty and let them know exactly what you are wanting to do, and that way if you do develop that relationship, it's honest from the start. You don't want to create a relationship and then backpedal and be like, well, I don't really have a storefront. I'm really selling on Amazon or eBay. You don't want to do that. So
Yeah, and
Don't.
I don't know that you recall, but I remember one booth that we went to at the last show, they didn't allow Amazon sellers. And we're like, "Oh, okay, that's cool. We really like your stuff. We understand, just we still, conversated." And the person says to and I don't know that you recall this, but the guy said to us, "Well, we don't allow this stuff on Amazon, but if you guys want, I mean, we do have this stuff over here, but it's a closeout. This is really all that we have left. I mean, if you want to take this, you can." So sometimes that no can be a yes, but maybe not for the thing you wanted, but maybe this other thing.
Yeah. Good morning, Tycoon.
Yep.
The
And one of
next.
our vendors that we found at the show, um, uh, I don't want to say their name because they're such a good source for us, but their current items they don't allow us to sell. But what they have is their closeout items you can sell, and not only can you buy them and sell them, you buy them for a lot less than what the going rate of the newer ones are. And if you buy them all, you can keep replenishing this item because they're a company that makes these items. And so
Mhm.
as long as you buy them all at closeout, you can continue to purchase this item from them. So talk to them. Sometimes those no's are yeses when you're just honest.
Right. And understanding why they're saying no
Yes.
is important. Like I've talked to the people at Burt's Bees and they say we already have a lot of authorized sellers and we just aren't open to any more at this time because we already have some dedicated sellers that we work with. And there are some companies like that. They get in relation with maybe 3 or 4 Amazon sellers, and that's as much as they want to do for that time being. So you can talk to them and say, well, if one of those falls through or whatnot, put me on this list to work with later. I've only had one vendor, and it was a couple ASDs ago, before my time with Tina BT. Uh, and they were like super negative about Amazon. They were like, we do not want our stuff on Amazon. There's price tankers. Amazon sellers are awful, blah, blah, blah. And they were downright like nasty about Amazon sellers. And that's the only one that I'm like, okay, you just say okay and walk away. I mean, I can't sit here and argue with people. I really don't care. My level of caring about other things is significantly low. I, if you don't want to do that, fine. I'm going to move on. There are hundreds, if not, I don't know how many vendors are there, but like,
The news is like, I didn't even like your crap anyway. So
yeah,
there.
bye bye. Yeah, I move on really quick. The next question I got here is when you create bundle, you find already existing bundles listings, or do you create brand new bundle listings? Do you need to ask the listing owner first? So that's a good question.
That is.
If you see a bundle on Amazon and it's under their branded name, uh, typically you do not want to get on their bundle, even if you can find all the items that go into their bundle. Maybe it's not a super significant one. We'll say, let's somebody's doing pasta and marinara and both are at Safeway and they've put that bundle together. It's pasta and marinara, but it's under their brand name. When people are going through brand registry, you cannot issue out IP complaints until you go through that IP registry situation. And so while you technically can get on that bundle listing, if you ask them, they'll probably say no. They'll be like, no, please don't do that. And it's just not nice. It's kind of like price tanking or walking across somebody's lawn. Can you do it? Yeah. Should you do it? No. It's I don't know if they will have any real ramifications to come after you. But for me, like, why would you want to grow your business that way? Like, yeah, you can make money off of counterfeit goods and stealing from people, but why would you want that to be your mode of business? Just because you can steal it and sell it does not mean that you should. So, it's just like selling things that are gated. Can you sell items that Amazon has ungated and be okay? No, because the brand can come after you. So there's the yeah, don't do that, please. The next question I have is which webcam recording software are you using? I use Screenomatic, but is having some issues. We are currently streaming on StreamYard. Love StreamYard. I do a lot of my video recordings in the office with that. But the other recording software we purchased this year is
Power Director is one,
Power
but
Director.
I
That's
don't
it.
know how to use it. So I have it, but I don't really know how to use it. And I also have Screencast-O-Matic. That's what I use to do my regular YouTube videos because I haven't figured out how to use the other one. I'm not really tech savvy with that type of software, but I want to be. I want to because I want to do some fun things with my videos.
I think it's called Power Director 360.
Hmm.
Anyhow, I absolutely love it, and I only know a few of the buttons. So maybe tomorrow I'm going to be doing recordings. Maybe you're going to be cutting hair, but anyhow, if we'll have to link up on that for more because it's not quite an Amazon question. Somebody asked, you mentioned, I think, adding a packing list to your shipment to FBA. I've never done this, and I'm wondering if I'm missing out all the time.
I never ever have added a packing list to my FBA shipment ever in the beginning of time of selling on Amazon. I've never done it. So I don't know. Do you? I think you
Yeah,
said shipments. Yeah, I've
anytime
never
it's multiple boxes, you're supposed to add a packing list.
never done it.
They,
Never.
they've wishy-washied on whether it's required or not, and I can't remember if it's required at this time or not.
Well,
But it used to be
I
not
enter the
required.
box content when
Yeah,
I
yeah,
do my shipment in Amazon.
and then you print out the packing list.
Never. I've never done that.
Ooh, okay, all right. Everybody who's listening, do you guys put in the packing list, the box content list in your boxes when you are doing multiple boxes? I believe it's okay. I'm gonna have to Google that one while we're looking. I want to see
Well,
everybody's
if it's
answer to
been
that.
required since 2014, they've never enforced me to do that. I have some other reseller friends that also do not do it. Now, I do enter, when you're creating, once I've shipped my batch to Amazon, where you print out your label and it asks, how many boxes there are, I put what is in each, box 1 through 4, it's allocated what's in those boxes. I was always under the impression that, how you have your shipping label and that other
Mhm.
label. I believe when they scan that other label, that's what the packing list is. I ain't got
Mhm.
time for
Huh. Okay, so we've got William says no. Birdie
Yeah,
says no.
William. Right on, Birdie.
Jose says, how do you selling FBA FBM bar reviews and returns affect your account health? How do selling FBM bar reviews, bad reviews,
I think it's just a mistyping. I
bad?
think that they're wanting to know if you're selling fulfilled by merchants, um, how do bad reviews and returns affect your account health? Well, they're not. It's not great. So if you're getting bad reviews on your selling account, that's not helping you. And depending on your return reason, that's also not helping you. If the returns are because your items are damaged and they're not happy with them, rather than it being clothing that just doesn't fit, it is going to hurt your account health over time and can possibly get you suspended.
Yes, and so there's item product reviews don't affect your health at all.
Right.
Seller feedback on your service
Yes.
will negatively impact and you'll see less sales. You do enough bad feedback and or bad shipping practices on your account health dashboard in relation to how many you ship out, you will get warnings and eventually get shut down if you have a bad ratio. So let's say you sell 10 products in a week and you get 8 bad things happen to it. That's a really high percentage. Let's say you sell 1,000 items in a week and you get 8 bad dings. That's not the ratio is not, the percentage is not that bad.
So it looks like most people are in Club Tina with no packing list. And William, as far as maybe with a packing list, they won't lose that one item they always seem to lose.
No, they lose it.
I would think that would be true, but because I know my friend here, Lucy, now does include a packing list, I can tell you they lose as much as her stuff as they do mine. So it does not matter.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like if I change my process by the time I change it and get everything changed, then it's going to revert back to
It'll
me.
be obsolete now. The info to be repeated as far as tactical arbitrage on Tuesday, we are going to be doing a live Tuesday morning, 8 a.m. West Coast time. And one of our Facebook members is going to do a live walkthrough of how she is successfully using tactical arbitrage to find product.
Yeah. I have somebody asking about shipping hazardous batteries. I'm going to have to answer that because it's off. I'll just answer that one. But if you're watching later, and just note that I do see your question and I need to look into it. It's about shipping batteries, FBM, and what stickers to put on. And if they just need the UN 3481 label. And I think that is it. And the Amazon, of course, the shipping label, and it has to ship ground. There are some other caveats that go in that. Like if you're shipping it through FedEx, you have to take it to an exact location. For UPS, you have to take it down to the hub, my stores. So anyhow, it's going to be a little bit more involved of an answer. Let's see here. Sylvia canceled her Business Prime because she thought she needed it, but I'm glad she was able to cancel that. Yeah, if you're using Amazon Business to get Ungated, you don't want it to be Prime, so don't pay that extra for Prime. Brian, thank you, says split shipments can work for ungating. Cole sent me 9 in one shipment, 1 in the other. If you get the small invoice, scan the 2 together, and then in the comment section, just put the ASIN and say split invoice. So that's a good tip.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So that's comments from last week.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm scrolling down. Okay, this one's a long one. Deanna, I got ungated for Kirkland products by doing the Amazon to Amazon. I purchased 10 of the Kirkland sleep aid thinking I would also get ungated for OTC medications. I was ungated in Kirkland, but there was additional requirements that I couldn't meet so that I was not ungated for OTC. Do you have any suggestion for this? I also purchased 10 Burt's Bees to get ungated with them, and for the product was a lip balm, which I thought would get me ungated and topical, but that didn't happen either. Any suggestions? My suggestion would be when you're looking for products to go to that product page and see what it is categorized under, to make sure that's the category that you want, because a lot of those things can be categorized in many different options.
Correctly. Yeah, sometimes they are categorized incorrectly. But I would think that the Kirkland brand vitamins would be listed in the right category, though.
I have seen all sorts of wackadoo stuff.
True.
And they like to change. I've had so many categories changed, and now I can't add variations to bundles and things that I've created. And they're like, "Oh, this category has changed and no longer accepts variations." What?
Yeah, I know a lot of toys doesn't accept variations.
That might be. I'm trying to think if it does. I think there's some sections in toys that does.
Possibly, but I know that there's certain things that pop up that, and I know it's quite a bit for toys when I've tried to list in the past that didn't allow variations, but it is hit and miss which ones don't, which ones do, and because it's always changing.
Mm-hmm. Okay, this next question is, do you purchase Squishmallows wholesale? If you want to get ungated, you can use toynk.com to get an invoice for Squishmallows. There are other wholesalers out there that will sell Squishmallows. I buy from both wholesalers and from like Fred Meyer's. Fred Meyer's
he had a huge Squishmallow booth the last time we went to the show. Huge.
Yeah. Definitely. If you were shipping directly to a customer like FBM or eBay, would you put it in a box at this point to mail, or would it be just like a poly mail? This is for bras, a particular question on bras. When you ship bras out for FBM or eBay, do you put them in a poly bag or do you box them?
Bras, I put them in a poly bag. It's
Yeah.
bra. It's not going to break. I'm not worried about it.
I'm kind of right there with you. Uh, I'm going down. Just hope everything settles. A lot of people just are commenting, which is always nice. I love seeing the comments. I'll go back and answer those later. I'm looking for a question mark. It really helps. If you guys have any questions, go ahead and put them in the comments right now, and we will answer them now as I'm looking for another one. Somebody is commenting on items vanishing from their inventory. And I know you've had that problem. Any update on your missing inventory? And anybody out there listening, are you having problems with missing inventory too?
I did recently see in another group somebody, I think maybe you sent me a screenshot of it. So I've had missing shipments in the past, right? That's not uncommon. And, I argue with Amazon why, like, I just want to like jump through the computer. Why would I buy a shipping label from Amazon to ship an FBA shipment to you that weighs X amount and the measurements of the box is X amount, have it scanned and picked up if I didn't mail it to you? That makes no sense. So I currently am fighting something where I mailed something to Amazon. I bought my shipping label, obviously, through Amazon, and this is my FBA shipment. I have the bill of landing of proof that it showed up at Amazon's warehouse. I even have my invoice from my vendor because this was a case pack of all the same thing, proving that I bought it. And I keep getting the same canned reply. We have no record of receiving your inventory. Well, I do, because here is your bill of landing that shows that you received it. And we're going round and round and round in circles. So my last message to this rep that is helping me is that I'm going to be leaving them a bad review because they have not resolved my problem. They keep giving me the same canned reply. And so right now I'm currently fighting with Amazon for a lost shipment of mine, and they're not reimbursing me. Now, I do normally deal with a third-party software type company that has a VA assigned to me that handles these missing shipments after the allowed time. I forget how long you have to wait before you can submit these claims. I jumped the gun on this one to do it earlier because it's ridiculous. They received this shipment at the beginning of May. Here we are almost August, and I still have no inventory or reimbursement. So Amazon better give me my money.
All right. Okay. Let me just go back up.
William has a question after yours, so go ahead.
All right. This one's going to be an easy one. Or at least it's a comment? I don't know. Anyhow, let me read. I've had 2 games that I was selling. Amazon was on the listing for months and never shared the buy box. Once they sold out, and other sellers, I'm sure, got an email that said they needed compliance documents. So I guess it's okay for Amazon to sell unsafe items, but not for us. Yeah. Have you gotten that? Have you noticed that? I don't think I've noticed it, but I definitely, I definitely believe it. Somebody feels behind on Q4. Ooh, I feel behind on Q4 too, all the time.
Yes, and soon. So generally in the month of August, speaking of Q4, I now coming up, we'll start stocking up on my bubble wrap, my boxes, any and all shipping material that I'm going to be needing, and just get that done here, stored away so I have it before I really am focusing on shopping.
Definitely. All right. William says, what does it take to create your own brand, and how do people get away with creating listings for other brand products with their own brand? Seems illegal.
This is we've talked before that we're creating a course. I'm actually going to, in the course, do step by step walkthrough how to create your own private label brand. As far as how people get away with creating listings for other brands products with their own brand, seems illegal. If you go into Amazon and you search within their search bar there, you can type in bundling policy, and you will see that you can do that, that it's not illegal. It's just that it has to be something complementary, and your brand has to be the item of more value in the listing. So, for instance, the Crayola listing that I had done several years ago, the Crayola was the add-on item to my branded item for kids to color, and I was adding in the Crayola as my bundle. I wasn't branding it as Crayola. I was branding it as my brand, but a Crayola crayon was included in my bundle, and that is allowable. You can do that per Amazon's policy.
Yep. Jose says, when do you guys stop sending shipments for Q4 for FBA? Mine is typically the Monday after Thanksgiving. What
Yeah.
do you?
Well, for Q4 stuff, if it's going to be Christmas related, I guess it depends what I'm sending. If I'm sending in Christmas trees and ornaments and tinsel and snowmen, things like that, I definitely have finished sending that in for me, usually by, November the 5th. And even that's kind of late because Amazon is slower and slower about receiving their shipments. Ideally, I like to have that kind of Christmas stuff already sent in and done well before Halloween. But I'm buying it wholesale, so I'm getting it much earlier. If it is items like Christmas toys, those things that you're going to merchant fulfill for top dollar, like Lucy said, before Thanksgiving or right around Thanksgiving is also my cutoff point for toys. When it's stuff that could be for Q4 and even some toys, because this stuff still sells after the holiday. I also do shipments all through Q4, even in December, because I
Mhm.
still want stuff getting to Amazon for January sales.
Oh, yeah.
Um, so if when the toy sales start slowing down right before Christmas, I start shipping them into Amazon because I now want them there for all of the January shoppers that got their gift cards. So I do send and continue to ship all during Q4 for FBA, but I kind of pick and choose what I'm going to send it in when I want to kind of predetermine when I think it's going to land and be available.
Yep. Yeah, I know on my to-do list in my head, my general goings on is by, I'll say November 10th, I kind of want all of my Christmas decorations and stuff sent in. So I will be working on that mainly all September and October, getting as much as I can into the warehouse. Come November, I will continue to look at deals and get as much in and start slowly switching over to FBM. And that Monday after November, whatever Thanksgiving is, that Monday after will be my last day to kind of ship in anything that I'm trying to hit for that 2 week period before Christmas. And then it will move to other things. Now I know over that um, Black Friday weekend, that's when Kohl's does their $14 bras, I want to say. So all bras are $14 or $10 or something like that. I got to watch the sale ads. So that's just one of the sales that I know I'm going to want to hit up because I will take those bras. We shop down in Portland because we'll be in Portland that week, but I will take those bras back and probably work on them after that Monday and then send that in. And that's okay. I'm not expecting those bras to get hit for the 25th. And then just go after workout clothes, workout things, resolution stuff. There's a lot of things that are still purchased in January that you can be sourcing for that are not toys, but I will be going out and getting toys just for merchant fulfilling. So kind of doing double work. I have my stuff that's going to go in for January sales and then my FBM stuff. Jill says, how can I increase my inventory performance score? It's at a 358. I have done everything, including pulling back all stock over 60 days. Can your account be suspended? I'm overall account good, and you only do FBA. That's your IPI score, and that's only going to affect your how much stock you can send in. And it does take the performance over the last couple of weeks. So if you just did all the changes like right today, it's not going to reflect in your score for a little bit. And the big thing is the sell-through rate. That's what has the most weight to that score is your sell-through rate.
That's right. And my friend that I was sourcing with the other day, she also brought this up for she didn't know how to get it better. When you click on your IPI score and it takes you to the page that shows you those 4 categories, they are order of importance to Amazon, and have the most impact on that score, like Lucy had said. One of the easy ways to bump it up very slightly is your in stock rate. You can close all those listings that don't have any in stock rather than just having them open. If they're items that you think you're going to continue to get or maybe get later, saving it for next year because it's seasonal, go ahead and close all those listings. And the things that you don't plan on selling ever again, go ahead and delete all those listings. That's good for your account health anyway. That's one tip. The other tip is when you have the slow sell-through rate on those items, you need to go through your account. And if they've been sitting there for quite some time, especially that 6-month mark, you want to consider removing them. Or if they're items that it is just price tanked, you don't think you're ever really going to make money. I mean, lower the price low enough to move them if you think you can sell them, or go ahead and pull them out, repurpose them into a bundle, sell them on eBay, but just get that inventory out of Amazon. Those are my 2 biggest tips for your IPI score, because also the longer crap sits there, it's affecting that, and you're paying storage fees.
Jose asks, thank you, ladies. What category have you guys had the most success during Q4 selling with FBM with little returns? Toys, and I like to focus on toddler or toys geared for kids under 10 years old. I do not do the big gaming system because my theory is people miss those Black Friday deals for whatever, a $200 gaming system. You'll see the price spike up to $400. Then you'll see Amazon gets back in stock on it on December, whatever, 30th. They return that, get the better price, and then you're out that sale. So I like toys that are geared for kids under 10. Usually the price point is $25 or less. I'm picking them up for $5, selling them for $15 to $20. And people just are busy and they're not going to return it. Who has time to return toddler toys, really? And the chances that they get the same one is very slim. So they're not going to do that. I've had higher returns on video games and high dollar items because the price will go back down and they do a return and they do like a little switcheroo because why not? They can
And
get the better
also,
price.
merchant fulfill the yard art, the Christmas, like the blow ups that you can get, some Christmas decor, some of that type of stuff. I will also merchant fulfill through Q4. And somebody in Facebook said that an Amazon rep told them, as far as your IPI score is concerned, that if you change the recommended replenish items to hide, it helps. And I meant to mention that too with closing your listings, to also do the hide feature. But for those that don't know how to do that, I would maybe have to do like a video to show you how to hide that.
I haven't hid those in forever. I'd have
Right.
to relearn that one. I don't remember where the button is. One more question from William. I saw one seller with 3 flavors of Ghirardelli chocolate under their own brand. Is that against terms of service? No. I mean, you're getting into this gray area, William. And what is the problem? The problem is that that 3-pack of Ghirardelli does not have an ASIN, or I mean a UPC related to it, right? Each product has a UPC. So when you put all three together, it's now a bundle of however you want to call it, because some people are like, that's not a bundle. Whatever, you're putting 3 products together. So the options to make that listing is either to put it under generic or to put it under your own brand name. If you have GTIN exemption for your own brand name, you can also have GTIN exemption for generic. If you put it under generic, that means anybody who sees that can then get under that bundle. By putting it under your own brand name, it deters other people from listing under that. Is it correct? Probably not. Does Amazon need a better way to do this? Absolutely. But there's not a whole lot you can do because it is this gray area. So I hope that makes sense. I mean, when you're looking at those types of bundles, yeah, I can go jump on that bundle if I can source those 3 Ghirardellis and sell it, and the seller can't really do much about it, you know?
I pulled it
Yeah.
up and it says this brand is known to file IP complaints, and the
Oh, then
listing
they're
is
registered.
straight up nothing but Ghirardelli. They don't even have like their brand. They don't have like a recipe card or, any particular thing that is their own brand. So, and then they have the balls. Can I say that on YouTube? The balls to file IP complaints. Wow.
Yeah, you can say that word. There are some other curse words that are not happy that YouTube
Wow. So if
gets
I
mad at me
take branded items and then put it under my brand name, and then I give you an IP complaint, that's pretty ballsy. Yeah. So Amazon should not let people do that. Wow.
But that's, again, we're playing in Amazon's sandbox, and while it's not, why we wouldn't think that that's a good way of doing it, and I'm sure they're aware of this problem and they need to really fix that, because if I want to list under a particular brand and it doesn't have a UPC, then there should be something a little bit there should be another option, because a lot of times, I just want to take whatever. Here's my breakfast. I want to take, a 2-pack of this. Well, it's not going to have a UPC. So now I'm forced to create a bundle of a 2-pack, and my only options is to get GTIN or put it under my own brand, because I can't list it under Nature Valley. So anyhow, it's ridiculous, but that's what it is.
Yeah.
Anyhow, I've got one last question. Can you mix hazmat items, body spray, and hair dye? If Amazon allows it to go into the same box together to the same location, then yes, but it has to do with the contents and what the facility is rated for. So if the facility is rated for aerosols and flammables, etc., then they may group it in together in the same shipment. If they separate it to go to different facilities, then you got to ship it separate. Yay, Nate got ungated for Yankee Candle. Awesome.
And thank
All
you,
right,
other people, for the very kind words that you shared about us. I appreciate you. All right.
yes, we
So
appreciate you.
this person says they got an IP complaint for a 2-pack of Palmer chocolate from the Dollar Tree.
I think we all did.
Huh?
Do you remember that? I remember that. I think we all did.
Yes. Someone listed a different brand under manufacturer. It was a variation listing, and they had themselves under a single pack also. Yes, I might have been on that listing too. I think I know which one you mean. Rude.
Yep. Yeah, and I know Amazon like whacked everybody, and then they got it fixed. There was also a big hoo-ha about doing chocolate bomb, and the word bomb was like copyrighted or something. It was ridiculous. It was like, so people had to change it to chocolate. It was like instead of chocolate bomb. Yeah, I think they changed it to chocolate ball.
Because I said that they trademarked the word chocolate bomb, and it's like, it's chocolate bombs that were really popular the last couple of years are made from Frankfurt candy. So it's like, I'd like to see this third-party podunk seller go after Frankfurt for chocolate bomb then. But no, they went after all of us other resellers that were selling chocolate bombs, trademarked, copyrighted by Frankfurt Candy. But okay, Amazon. I mean, we have to choose our battles, I guess. If
Yeah.
Amazon made sense, then this would all be so much easier.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Don't ask for Amazon to make sense. It's
Yeah.
utterly ridiculous. The brand was Fruitals. Oh, that's a terrible name.
Yeah.
Okay,
You and your
last
brand
question.
name is dumb Fruitals.
Okay, last question. Jose says, are Bali bras profitable from Kohl's when Amazon usually sells them for 20? Is this a specific size or type? Um, I find, let's see here, my favorite Bali bras are typically, I find leopard print does really well. I don't know why. I don't know if it's a Tiger King thing or if that's still a fad, but leopard or animal print it typically does well. Padded, lifting, anything that has an extra keyword that will make you look better. Support, lift, shrink, something like that.
Never
Uh,
shrink.
well, some people need to rein in the girls. I don't know. They need that extra support. Uh, and the trick with Kohl's is you've got to line up all the things. So you need to have them at the $14 set price, then get the 30% off. Then I'm down in Portland, so I don't pay sales tax, which is nice. And then you use the Kohl's cash and split it into, you get the Kohl's cash for later purchases. And then you use the gift card granny or the Raise gift cards to get another 3 to 5% off. So I'm not paying 14. I'm typically paying around 10, hopefully $10. And then I'm looking for a $29.99 or higher, sometimes $34.95 or higher selling bra. And not all are going to be winners. I may get, let's say, 50 different ASINs, and out of those 50 different ASINs, 40 will probably be good and sell at what I want, and maybe 10 are going to be not good because Amazon gets back in stock the next day or whatever. I love that. All the things. Yes. Oh my gosh. Kohl's, you got to line up all the things, all of the discounts. It's ridiculous. All right. Well, that is it for questions for today, but you can always comment down below and we'll hit you up the next time. And then we've got Tuesday. We're going to talk about tactical arbitrage. So that will be awesome. Oh, we'll sneak in Judy here. Can I use liquidation invoices to get ungated? If it's itemized. If it's not itemized, then no. And I wouldn't count on it because Amazon doesn't like liquidation companies and they typically don't itemize. But it just depends on the company. See what the invoice looks like.
Yeah, if the invoice shows a company name that doesn't say, Joe's liquidation without
Mm-hmm.
your, and no itemized invoice, chances are no. I have used liquidation to get ungated, but they were from companies that said, like Joe's Wholesale, and they itemized an invoice for me. So while it was liquidation, the invoice did not look like it was. So
Exactly. Exactly. A lot of liquidation invoices are just like pallet O stuff from Target rejects, weight 50 pounds and price $200. It's not going to be itemized. Have we
and
discussed how the, oh, sorry, go ahead.
yeah, that's what I was pulling up. Go ahead.
Oh, have we discussed how the VA trial went? No?
We did not, because nobody ever really got back to me to share with me their experience with the VA. I asked everybody that used a VA to please get back with me and let me know how the trial went and how it worked with using the VA. I know one person, Mariana, who's using the tactical arbitrage. She hired her VA. I do know that much, but nobody else ever got back to me to give me their experience, feedback, or anything. And so I don't know because no one followed up with me. Also, the the VA, she had three more VAs available for someone to use. I posted about that in Facebook on a video, and only one person got back to me to start using a VA who missed out on the first opportunity. And Divine still had two more slots available that no one has taken up the offer on. So I do still have 2 more spots available if anyone wanted. And
Nate, Nate,
says
Nate,
that
Nate.
you never got your VA. And did Divine message you, or you her, and her not get back to you? I mean, unless people tell me, I don't know what happened after.
Mhm. So Eastern Rose asks about TGI. I don't know if it's another I or L, whatever, bedhead brand.
Oh, TG. Mm-hmm.
Are you on the same wholesale list that came out with some products from there this morning? I was looking into that brand too. I'm looking it up.
Yeah, I would definitely look up TG. TG in the past always was exclusive to hair salons. I know now you see name brands like Paul Mitchell, TG, things like that in Targets and whatever, but that doesn't mean that they're not going to come after you, because TG still, even though it's kind of been around and is not the popularity it used to have in the hair industry, they still are considered a professional brand. So definitely look in to that one. I know them, Tony and Guy. I mean, it's been years since I've spoken to them, but that's who developed TG. It used to be for Tony and Guy. Not that anyone cares.
Jeez, you got some
Well,
inside
hair is
information.
I've been in the hair business 30 years, so
Yeah.
I know these random things.
Let's see here. I looked it up on here. I can share this. So this is what I do. I mean, literally, you go and you type in TG, IG, whatever, and Amazon IP complaint, and it comes up on here. Let's see here. It's Amazon UK gives a small warning. The rest does not. It does not have a warning for US. So
Yeah, so I would
go
try.
do some more poking around and
Yeah.
see what comes up. Judy, I don't know what
And
you're.
okay, this person said that, oops, where did it go?
I
Did I
clicked
hit
at the
the
same
wrong
time
one?
you did. Sorry.
Okay, yeah. Oh, is that what happened? Okay, so one of the Facebook users said that they are still working with the VA. The first VA that Divine gave them flaked out, so Divine gave them a second one. So that's good to know. Yeah, definitely keep me posted, or whether you want to message me privately or in the Facebook group, because I want this to work out, for her and you guys as well. So if I know more, it can help me more.
Judy says mine is 10,000 mistakes instead of 1,000. I accidentally hit 10,000. I don't know what
I
you're
don't
talking
know what
about.
that means. Me either.
No, we haven't been on Facebook for over a month. Remember, my mother-in-law passed. We got COVID. Just getting back in the swing. Well, I'm sorry to hear that you're about your mother-in-law. Well, I think I heard about it last time, but
Yeah, you did. Yeah, because we messaged with
yeah,
you about that,
I
and
remember
I know
that.
you guys had so much going on.
Yes, definitely. Okay, well, that will wrap it up for today. Oh, I hope everybody's going to have a good weekend and all of that. What is the name of the Facebook group? The Facebook group is
I
Online
believe there
Selling with
should,
Tina.
yeah, and I believe there should be a link. If not, I can add that later. If you have a link to my YouTube, you can click on my, as I'm assuming you're watching on Lucy's YouTube. Um, if you are on my YouTube, there is a link to the Facebook group.
There we go. I'm going to put it in the chat too, just now.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, take care, everybody. Have an awesome weekend.
Yep. Have a great time, guys.